So what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new POV video. So today you join me inside the VW Polo Vivo GT and we're just going to take it for a quick POV drive, have a chat about the car. I met the owner right here who's going to help me talk you through the whole car in general, stuff like maintenance, market value, the experience of living with it, that sort of stuff. So we're going to be doing it POV style. So this car actually has some really nice touch-ups, like modifications and stuff. And fourth. It was in fourth or second. Is that normal?
What?
The sound?
Yeah. It's because it's a 3-cylinder.
I thought maybe I'm in fourth gear. Like, when did I get to fourth? So yeah, where was I? So the owner said he got the car 2021, ne?
Yes.
Yeah. Got the brand new actually.
Yes.
Oh wow, and it's now sitting on 134,000 Ks. And here's the most interesting thing. You actually maintain the car yourself, like servicing and stuff.
Yes.
Wow. So what's the service interval on these?
So usually it's every 15,000 kilometers. Yeah, that's what I followed. So since the 45,000 maintenance plan lapsed, I took over. So I did all the brakes, your belts. I haven't done the cam belt yet, but everything I've done it.
Because usually the cam belt stuff, it's the most expensive, ne?
At the dealership, yes.
At the dealership?
Yeah.
And where do you get like the servicing kit?
So I do a mix and match. Depending on where I get a good price, I could still go to VW for certain parts, but usually I go to Goldwagen, and I prefer Liqui Moly.
And you get everything from these guys?
Everything. Spark plugs, the oil filters, everything.
And in terms of issues, like, have you experienced any issues on the car?
Yeah, I've had issues. Like, I've had one big issue when it was new with the EPC light, but that was fixed really quickly in a week when I came back from Durban.
Yeah.
It was under warranty, but it was just squeaky noise, brake pads and discs. But overall, I've never had any major issue with this car.
So the engine, this is powered by the 1-liter turbo 3-cylinder.
Yes.
Basically the same lump that you find in the Polo TSI.
Correct.
So pumping 81 kilowatts, and I believe it's 200 newton meters of torque, ne?
Correct.
So stock.
Yeah.
It's important to highlight that. So your one is tuned, yeah?
Yeah, it's tuned, so it's not really that much. It was just to adapt the downpipe in the turbo inlet pipe, but the torque, I felt the difference because you get 40 newton meters of
more
extra. I haven't dynoed it, but I can tell the difference with the takeoff and stuff.
I can also tell from just driving it like this that it's a lot more eager to go.
Correct.
But these are actually fun to drive, eh?
It's a nice,
like, it stands out compared to, can I call them budget cars? When you compare it to other budget cars when it comes to stability and, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's a nice car for a daily, if you want a nice toy. Because sometimes, like, you know how us boys are, we like racing and stuff.
Does this car have hill start assist?
Yes, it does.
So how does that work in here?
You just hold it on the... While you're holding your brakes, you'll see it's going to hold it for you for like a couple of seconds, then it let goes.
Oh, that's cool. So if you ever had any issues with starting on inclines and stuff. Oh, I see. Okay. Technology. This car's got some good push to it, eh?
Not gonna, even when you're overtaking.
Like, it's so easy,
It's
ne?
easy, yeah. It's effortless. Been used, like, I've driven a Quid with the naturally aspirated 3-cylinder, and that thing is weak, so getting into this one, you can tell the difference of how a turbo makes a difference.
Speaking of naturally aspirated, so the main selling point with the GTs is you get that turbo on the engine, because the other models are naturally aspirated.
Yes.
Ne? I believe there's a 1.6.
Correct.
Ne?
Yes.
And a 1.4.
Yeah, the CLP, I think it's a 1.4, and the CLS, if I'm not mistaken, is the 1.6.
So yeah, with the GT, obviously having the turbo, you get that extra torque and the extra power, of course, and that is literally the main selling point on one of these. So have you ever looked at the market on these, like, recently? I mean, you own it, you don't have any reason to go and look at how much they cost and stuff, but how much was it, like, brand new?
I think, man, I got it 324.
324.
326, yeah, around that amount.
I wonder how much are they now, like the new one?
I think when I looked at it, it was around 360.
360.
Because I was comparing, looking at how much people could get if you were to get a Polo GTI second hand instead of getting this new, just to compare. But yeah, it's around that amount. Because in the second hand market, you could get one for like 220, 250, depending on the condition.
That blow-off's out, man. Yo, I need something like this for my car. So you usually drive it at traction off.
Yeah, that's what I call it. I call it a sports mode.
That's sport mode for you.
Yeah.
Do you have AC, bro?
Yeah, I do.
I'm boiling now.
I like with the AC is that it makes the car weak.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it make a difference like that?
It puts. You can feel it now. It puts more weight on the engine. You feel it.
Jeez, man.
It's pulling now. I wanted it holds.
Oh, that blow-off sound.
And the gear changes because it's become sticky.
Wow. The things you learn.
Yep. Not perfect, but yeah.
Let's see. Okay, you turn down there. Hey man, this car is actually fun to drive. Yo. Like, literally it is.
So I can't wait to go big brakes, the GTI spec, because the current one is 256 millimeters, and I want to go 288.
288.
So I just need the stub axle.
So which GTI is it gonna be? The 6C brakes?
Yes, 6C. VW is clever, yo. The normal 1.2 Highline used the same braking system
As the 6C GTI?
Yes.
Jeez.
Same size.
Hell. Yeah, nah. That is wild. So basically just recycling parts here and there. For this model, put this, for that model, put that.
Yeah.
And we'll sell this one at this price, we'll sell that one at that price. I mean,
Economies of scale.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I think this is definitely an interesting buy, especially if you look at the brand new ones. If budget is an issue, then you should definitely look at these on the used car market.
As long as you get a one that has been religiously maintained well. The most important one is the oil change. I see the other things. But if, like, at my mileage, like right now, I'm planning to change my belt just to be safe. I already bought it. It's just a matter of when I have time.
I think also my car, at the next service, it needs the belt changed. Yeah, it needs the belt changed.
Because these use a rubber belt. See, it's sticky.
Is it because of the AC?
Yeah.
Is this robot open for? I don't know. Have you noticed that the robot doesn't show if it's open for like the turning
I saw.
side? Yeah. Hey man, this car's quick. Yo.
The peak torque is around, is it 2.4 into 4,000 RPM.
So you basically get it down low.
Yeah.
Hey man, yo, it's got some go to it.
That's why I want to get the brakes upgraded.
So it's on par with the performance as well.
Yeah. Because I can't just be putting more power to go. I need to stop.
And it can't really stop.
Yeah. Sometimes I've had instances where it will shudder. Yeah. You even though your brakes are good, you'll have steering shudder. Yeah.
Jeez.
Because they
So these robots are not working well, or like what's happening here?
I wonder. It's probably chaotic.
That blow off sound, man. I'm addicted to blow off noises. I really am
Sometimes I
addicted.
skip pedestrians with it.
Really? They're like, hey.
I think it was last week, some guy screaming at me.
This guy's on my bumper. I'm gonna go this way.
Look, I've seen the discussions on the Swift, the Polo Vivo, and it solely depends on what you want as a person. Not
Yeah.
every car fits for everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you like a first car buyer, you can go for the Swifts for good value for money, reliability and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Volkswagen is a problematic one, but because of the high risk and the maintenance needs and stuff.
This car's going, man. Hey, we're moving, yeah. Brad, do you know how to hill and tow?
No.
At my big age, I also still can't hill and tow in a manual.
I've tried.
You've tried?
Let's give it to the professionals.
Apparently, it also depends on like the positioning of your pedals in your car. Yeah, if the pedals are not sitting right, then it's going to be near impossible. Yeah.
Because I've seen some guys doing. I think I saw that guy on Instagram. He was doing his pedals, modifying them like the positions. So it makes sense when they say that. Depends on the position of your.
So yeah, guys, I think I'll leave it off here with this POV drive. I really do hope you guys enjoyed the driving experience and some of the chats about these cars. Until next time, that's cheers from me.